Giller Prize winner Linden MacIntrye is back with a brand new novel. He joins us this morning with more on The Winter Wives. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, Annette.
I thought when I first saw this, I'm like, is this a romance novel from Linden MacIntrye? It is not.
Somebody called it a bromance, and I don't agree with that. So
no, I don't agree with that either. So set the scene. This is all about, it's a novel about illusions and who you think you know and do you know yourself.
Exactly. Four people at the center of this story have known each other since adolescence, and they think, as young people frequently do, they know everything there is to know about the other person. A couple of them actually believe they know each other better than they know themselves. As time goes by, and is frequently the experience of most people, you discover new things about people you think you know. And the new things you discover sometimes challenge relationships. We have to reconsider relationships because of what we know about the person with whom we are in a relationship. And this is what happens to these four people as time goes by. There are dramatic changes and discoveries and dramatic challenges to the relationships that they're all in.
Right. So the Winter Wives are two sisters who marry two, I guess you would call them friends or acquaintances. One grew up in Nova Scotia, and the other guy is this gregarious football star who comes there to play football and goes on to do some questionable things.
Yes, and the other guy is a lawyer. And in time, the lawyer, who is a very straight, rural kind of lawyer, he becomes involved in the nefarious activities of his very close friend, who is a very different character, but as is often the case with people who are very different personalities and different styles, they become very close. And in time, one factor, for example, that intervenes is crime. Another factor is dementia. These factors transform the relationships between all four and place new challenges on how they survive in their businesses and in their personal relationships. And it leads them down a path that becomes really quite dramatic and perilous in a legal sense. And they somehow try to figure out ways of getting through it.
Right. It also deals with the shadows of the lawyer's life. When he was a very young boy, there was an accident involving his mom and him, and so he's affected by that. But he's also affected by all these rumors and kind of innuendo about what happened to him as a child, and it kind of shapes all the people around him and what they think of him.
There's there's an enduring mystery about the circumstances just before the accident happened. He's in a barn with an uncle. His father walks into the barn, sees something he doesn't like. A confrontation ensues, and it's in the middle of this confrontation that the accident happens that leaves the character Byron hospitalized for a lot of his younger years, and as a consequence, he is homeschooled. His education is in correspondence courses in hospitals and rehab. So, as a teenager, when he enters the stream of sort of adolescent socializing, meeting girls and stuff like that, he is absolutely unprepared for it. And this is where these relationships begin. The relationship with this ideal female named Peggy and this ideal boy, athlete named Alan. He gets into these relationships with absolutely no prior experience with having friends or a social milieu like high school or university. Mm-hmm. And so the relationships start there, and of course are always a bit handicapped by this unusual origin for these very important friendships.
Right. I thoroughly enjoyed reading The Winter Wives, Linden, because it was all this unpacking and unweaving of things. And our viewers are going to be able to see you and hear you talk about this book, because you're going to be part of the Grimsby Author Series in September with Terry Follis, who's actually coming on the show next week, going to talk about his book as well. So you can get your tickets for that. So always a delight to talk to you. Linden MacIntrye, the author of his newest book, The Winter Wives.
Thank you, Annette.
Thank you.